The 2018 Women's US Open finale was a triumphant moment for Japanese breakthrough player Naomi Osaka. However, tennis superstar Serena Williams' behavior during the match was scrutinized in the media. In particular, Mark Knight's cartoon in the Australian Herald Sun depicted an angry Williams stomping on her racket. This cartoon received international backlash and was deemed as racist. With both Mark Knight and Serena Williams receiving criticism, who was predominantly seen as the victim? 5 articles from both US and Australian publications that wrote about the cartoon were picked and will be examined on who they portray as the victim. Overall, it was discovered that Australia's depiction of Serena Williams was a lot more aggressive, with terms such as tantrum and spitting the dummy used to describe her behaviour during the match. The Washington Post article in fact makes reference to the term spitting the dummy, citing it as an Australian expression used for a childish tantrum. Despite the Australian publications describing Williams' behaviour in a negative light, they don't ever delve into some of the factors that caused said behaviour. In comparison, US publications took the time to describe the incident between Williams and the umpire, in which she received a violation for receiving coaching from the sidelines. Williams defended herself, saying,
"I didn't get coaching. You need to make an announcement that I didn't get coaching. I don't cheat. I didn't get coaching. How can you say that?"
In general, US publications had a more understanding stance on why the cartoon was seen as a racist caricature. The Washington Times and Miami Times articles were the only two to explicitly point out the exaggerated features of Serena Williams in the cartoon. As Jessica Chasma of the Washington Times states, Miss Williams, who is black, is depicted with a stocky build, frizzy hair, and exaggerated lips. The Washington Post article was the only one to make reference to Mark Knight's previous acts of problematic behaviour. Australia's national identity was also questioned in relation to racial issues. The Morning Bulletin article, though an Australian publication, quotes a New York Times piece that states there is an ignorance around race in Australia, and the conversations around the topic are not as layered. Overall, Mark Knight was predominantly seen as the victim in Australian publications, and Serena Williams was seen as the victim mostly in US publications. Whether or not this could be a bias could be argued, but this portrayal of Serena Williams does contribute to a larger issue at hand. So the real culprit at play here are the bodies behind the media industry, particularly here in Australia. These microaggressions, labels and terms used to portray racial minorities contribute to the larger issue of racism. What can be done to challenge that? Diversify the media industry, or for us, research into the long-standing history of representation of people of colour and how it still contributes to our media today.